Hello and welcome to today's Satsang on Consciousness TV. Today we'll be exploring the heart's intelligence and the effects and influence of the heart's intelligence on our everyday experience. That's our everyday experience of life around us, of our relationships and our experience of self. And together with the heart's intelligence, we'll also be looking at identity, at sense of self, and that transition from the experience of self as a personality to the experience of self as light. And as you can imagine, or as you may have already experienced, that transition from perceiving yourself to be a personality only, to perceiving yourself as light only, having the experience of a personality, is a huge shift. It's a shift that usually is not accomplished all in one go, all in one instant. Although there are moments of powerful transition from one state to another, although there may be glimpses or periods of time spent in an altered awareness of the self as light, of the self as consciousness, usually there's a return to the self as personality. And that doesn't mean that we've failed, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It's just a natural part of the process of integrating higher consciousness or pure consciousness into this human mind-body field. And because it's going to become more commonplace, more and more people are going to be experiencing this process very vividly, it is important that we understand it more and that we accept it, that we embrace it with all its ebbs and flows, with all its peaks and troughs and all the comings and goings of consciousness in this mind-body field that we call a human personality. One of the reasons this takes time is because we're not just transforming the physical body. We're not just transforming our neural pathways, our central nervous system. We're not just looking at a cellular biochemical shift. We're also altering the way we perceive ourselves in our energy bodies. So that's the etheric body, the astral body, the higher astral body, the lower mental body, the higher mental body. We have a number of energy bodies, and these have been described by mystics and by clairvoyants and healers for many thousands of years now, using different terminology and focusing on different aspects of these interdimensional bodies. So they exist and they influence us and they provide us with certain kinds of experiences in the same way that our physical body does. They're just less dense. But they each have their own characteristics. They each act as a point of reference for a sense of self and an experience of self and an experience of life. Life, the universe and everything. So any person who is incarnated into a physical body is not just having a physical experience. They will also be having an astral experience. They will also be having a mental experience. And as they move awareness through those different interdimensional bodies at different moments of time in their daily lives, they will have a somewhat different experience of self. And it's possible to become as identified with the astral body or bodies, or mental body or bodies, as it is to become identified with the physical body and physical life. And to be just as asleep to one's true nature as consciousness on that astral level, on that mental level, as we are on the physical. So to think about awakening as only the awakening of the body or the brain is only part of the truth. Really, awakening takes the time it takes and is as complex as it is because we have multiple energy bodies that we live through that all seem to act like a coherent single organism that we call the personality, but in fact are not necessarily that coherent, not necessarily in agreement with each other, and not necessarily fluid in communication with one another at any given moment of time or during any given period of our development. So at certain times we may be very focused on the physical plane from an astral perspective. At other times we may be very, very focused on astral issues only. Emotional issues, creative issues, artistic issues, imaginative issues, creating whole worlds of experience for ourselves, either with or without a physical body, either during physical incarnation or outside of physical incarnation. And the same goes for mental experience. We can have a mentally focused incarnation while living in a physical body. And we can also have a mental plane incarnation where we don't have a physical body at all. So it really is very beautiful. It's very big in its scope, but it can also be so intoxicating that we fall asleep within it, either in a physical body or even out of a physical body. Even in experiences of other dimensions or experiences of living non-physically on another planet, or having an experience of the angelic realms, we can still fall asleep to the true experience of self, which has no shape, no form, no identity in the way we understand it, but it still has intelligence. And there is a reason for that. There's a reason for the way in which this shows up, the way in which this manifests and expresses. So we're really dealing with, at this time, three primary aspects of existence and the interaction between those three primary aspects of existence. That's going on all the time, even if we're not aware of it. So the first aspect is pure consciousness, pure light, the self as light, without shape, without form of any kind, without thoughts, without feelings, and without sensations. Just pure, abiding awareness that has its own nature, that is completely awake. But it's awake without experiences of anything particular. It's really just experiencing its own existence, unqualified existence. And that consciousness has the capacity to create experiences that are qualified, that are varied, and that are specific and particular. And that's why we have a created universe. So you could say all of that creation is Maya, it is illusion. And if you look at it from the perspective of that creative consciousness, all things that are created have a purpose. They have an intention, however simple, however direct or uncluttered or uncomplicated it may be, there is a purpose that has been set in motion by pure consciousness. And it can be as simple as wanting to experience colours, textures, atmospheres, ideas and emotions and forms, depending on which plane consciousness is focused on. So that experience, or that Maya, is a gift that consciousness gives to itself. It's not a problem, it's not less than, it's not irrelevant. It's actually a desired experience. And it's engaged in with complete and utter fearlessness. Because pure consciousness cannot suffer, does not suffer, never dies, and can choose any experience, it is really courageous in choosing experiences. It is experimentative in choosing experiences. It's very curious about experiences. And along the way, along those timelines that it sets for itself, that are physical, astral, mental, even causal, what it develops primarily is a body of love. And that body, again, it doesn't have a shape. It's just like a rainbow of light. Some clairvoyants have described it as concentric rings of colour around a shining bright white light. And that field of colour, those causal rings of colour, are composed of every experience in matter, space and time that soul has ever had. That includes physical and etheric, astral, mental and causal experiences. Experiences in human form, experiences beyond human form. And the outcome, or the fruit of all of those experiences, is a kind of quality of love-light intelligence that we call, more recently the name has been given to it, essence. We call it essence now. In the past, we've often just referred to it as divine love, a feeling of divine unconditional love. And it is identifiable through its unconditional completeness. Every quality of essence is timeless, complete unto itself, unique and exquisite. And it expresses as both light, colour, fragrance, sound, frequency is another word for those things, and the feeling of love, true love, without any complications, without any reversals, without any limitations, without any judgments. A complete, all-encompassing, all-permeating, translucent experience of complete wholeness and connectedness with everything. Light connecting with light, like water connecting with water, or air connecting with air. And that frequency of our own causal field, of our own rainbow of luminous love, light, intelligence, is the keynote by which we are identified. So when an ascended master or a guru, a guide or spiritual teacher comes to you to help you, whether they come to you in a physical body, they're physically present on the earth plane, or whether they come to you on the inner planes, or they interact with you in your sleep. You know them by the light of their love, by that unique fragrance, by that unique coloration of their causal body. And they may not even appear to you in a form. And even if they do have a form, as you sit with them or meditate with them, their form may actually disappear and you experience them as essence and pure consciousness. And you too are that. So the purpose of the Ascended Master, or the Guru, or the angel, or the inner guide or teacher being with you is to lead you more deeply into the experience of your own essence, your own luminous love intelligence, your own body of light, to know yourself as that, and then to know yourself as the light that is beyond even that, that embodies and expresses through that rainbow of love. So when an experience is completed, when it's fully digested, the substance of that experience is transformed or ascended into this love essence. If we resist an experience, if we judge it, if we judge ourselves or other people, if we remain afraid and contracted and we hold on because of that fear, then we cause that experience to persist at the 3D level, to persist at the level of object awareness, the level of form, and it doesn't get turned into essence. So it becomes a samskara, it becomes an imprint that binds us to an idea of self and an experience of self that hides, veils or conceals the light of who we are. Yeah. So if you have a lot of samskaras, if you have a lot of unforgiveness, unfinished business, either towards yourself or others, then it creates this clouding, this heaviness in the energy field, these knots of suffering, or the knots of ego, as some teachers call it. Really, those knots are just unfinished business. They're the place where we have become afraid and limited in our thinking, limited in our awareness, and have been unable to release that experience into soul consciousness. We've been unable to release that so it can be ascended into essence by the influence of our soul through a process of soul infusion. So in this, our task as people who are becoming more aware, more awake, wanting to be more loving and express our wholeness and our light, our task is to put into practice a process of loving awareness that allows us to meet those samskaras, those imprints, those aspects of unfinished business, and through love and trust open them to the soul and allow the soul to ascend them into essence. And the place in our mind-body field where we can most directly and easily do this is our heart center. The heart's intelligence is a blend of presence, soul and essence, that when we come into contact with that, when we come into attunement with that, we can attune our entire mind-body field. We can calibrate every cell, every atom to that light, which is in truth everywhere within us. It is all through us on the deeper dimensions of our being. So the meditation today will be a meditation on the heart's intelligence and opening the body, opening all the dimensions of our human personality, physical, etheric, astral and mental, to the heart's intelligence, to that light of presence, soul and essence, so that we can more fully step into that experience of the self as light and the self as love. So we'll begin the meditation on the heart's intelligence now. Make sure that you're sitting comfortably with your spine straight, yet relaxed, and your chin tucked just a little down. That helps to relax the base of your skull and your ultra major chakra. And we begin by breathing deeply with your awareness focused in the center of your chest, on the in-breath, feeling how your chest fills with light from deep within. The center of your chest fills, and also your upper chest around your thymus gland, just at the base of your throat by your collarbone. Allow yourself to feel a hopefulness, a lightness with each in-breath, and with each out-breath just allow a release from your chest, from the middle of your chest and from your upper chest. And it may help to breathe in a 4/4 rhythm. Breathing in to the count of 4, holding your breath for the count of 4, breathing out for the count of 4, and holding your breath out for the count of 4. Then repeating that cycle again and again. Breathing in as fully as you can, and breathing out as fully as you can. Really engaging your physical body and bringing the full focus of your attention to your chest and to your breathing. With each in-breath, you're making more room for the light of your true nature, allowing your body to receive it, to integrate it. And on the out-breath, you're releasing any resistances, fear, contraction or holding in the body. This will create more room for the integration of consciousness on your next in-breath. So in Pranayama, we're not breathing in the suppressed and dampened down way that we might do in everyday life. What we're doing is we're activating the energy pathways in the body through the breathing. So you're engaging actively, encouraging motion and flow with each breath. And energy follows your intention. It follows where you place your attention. The principles are really simple. What matters is your wholehearted and loving engagement with the process and with yourself at the center of the process. Notice how your neck and shoulders relax as you breathe. Receiving with each in-breath, letting go with each out-breath. Noticing also how the area around your shoulder blades relaxes and softens. How your spine relaxes and softens. As you breathe in this way, nothing else matters or attracts your attention, only this, the sensations in your body, the flow of your breath, the expansion of the light inside you, the shifts in textures, atmospheres, perceptions. You begin to enter a deeper world within yourself. As the outer world melts away, dissolves away, and there is only this interior process carried by the cycle of your breathing, carried by the light shining and expanding from the center of your heart. Allow yourself to enjoy the pleasure of receiving this light and the pleasure of releasing tension, of releasing any holding or contraction in your upper body. And now this becomes the center of your universe. As you breathe, allow your awareness to rest in a feeling of kindness towards yourself. A feeling of tender appreciation for your own existence in this body. With each breath now becoming like a prayer, a thank you to yourself. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this body. Thank you for this sense of self arising from emotions and thoughts and experiences. Thank you for the chance to be me, here and now. Allow this gentle thank you to flow down your arms to your hands, to the palms of your hands. you for this opportunity to be me in this moment. And notice and inquire deeply into the question, who is it who is loving me in this moment? Who is it who is appreciating that I exist in this moment? Something within you is relating to you with unconditional awareness, unconditional acceptance and tenderness. Breathe into that. Into that living awareness. Allow it to intensify and fill you. The one who observes you, who loves you, is that same one who is having the experience of being you. Thoughts, feelings and sensations float in this awareness. Allow that luminous awareness to flow up into your neck and throat and into your head. Allow this luminous awareness to flow down into your stomach and abdomen. And down into your legs and feet. across your whole body. It fills the core of your body. It fills your spinal column. And with each in-breath you create more room for this consciousness, for this light. And with each out-breath you let go of any tension or holding you meet within your body. To be filled with the light of presence, soul and essence. Each in-breath is a yes to this light, a yes to your own existence here and now. Each out-breath is a willingness to release and dissolve all holdings, all contraction in your mind-body field. Each in-breath is a yes to love, to receiving. And so your breath becomes a gateway of grace into your life. The light of your own transpersonal divine existence shines brightly within the body of your human experience. you are filled with grace, shining with the light of your own love, with the light of infinite love. Allowing yourself to feel this all the way down in your root chakra and in the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands. These hands, these feet, this human body, this sacred heart. Return slowly to daily consciousness now. Breathing a few deep heart breaths in and out. Present all the way down into your body, into the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands, the base of your spine. Taking as long as you need. Opening your eyes when you feel ready.